trying to get mine on now. There it goes. All right, we'll start over. There's no sound. How about that? Well, we turned off the.
We told great jokes. It was a great opening. I mean, it was really a really good opening.
We told some big jokes. We had big scoop about everything Saturday, all the injuries. No kidding.
I had talked to Trey Harris today, but he told me I can only say it one time. So
can't do it now. All right, we'll start over. Our welcome into Hand Raise, guys. Presented by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. I'm Neal McCready. That Chase Parham. Thanks for joining us. It's been a busy day. I had the audio off. I apologize. Had the mics off. They were off for a reason. Learn to turn the mics off sometimes. Mics were off. But anyway, they're back on now. We're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. If you are in the Oxford, Batesville, or Tupelo area, get in touch with our friends at Comer for all of your AC and heating needs. 662-801-1777 if you live in Hernando. Not Batesville. Hernando.
They're saying mine's still
Try now.
Check 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I see the lanes now.
Okay. Yeah. Hernando, DeSoto County, Memphis. Get in touch with the people at Southern. 662-429-4429. Same great products, same great people, same great services. They'll take great care of you. They've been great friends of our podcast network and our site for a long time. So please, when you have heating and air needs, get in touch with those guys at Comer and Southern. This will be the Friday Oxford Exxon podcast. I'll save this. I'll save your voice. Be the Friday Oxford Exxon podcast. Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Listen, if you are not making the trip to Tuscaloosa, if you are making the trip to Tuscaloosa, stop. If it's on your way, stop at the Oxford Exxon. Fill up. If you're not going to Tuscaloosa and you're just turning it into a watch party, they can make it a lot more fun for you. They can do the ribs, dry or wet. They also have a beer cave, which is always good to have a beer cave.
34 degrees.
34 degrees of sudsy alcoholic goodness, all the selection. So go there, get stock up. That way at 6 o'clock on Saturday, you can either celebrate or drown your sorrows. Either way, it's out of our control, but we can give you both options right here at MPW Digital.
You should buy both options. You get one that is for celebratory later on and you just put the other in the fridge and keep it. There will be a day. Either way.
That's true.
There will be a day.
That is true.
I don't think they're going 3-9, and I don't think they're going 12-0. So
you heard it here. Ole Miss is going to lose a game, and it's all Chase's fault. We're coming to you from the Clark Ford Studios. Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours, right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is completely up to you. You can shop it around, or you can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do. And that's hopping to a Clark Ford today. Guest will join if you guys call in on the Campbell Clinic Hotline. The Campbell Clinic is in Oxford now, 2608 South Lamar Boulevard, Suite 102, just across the street from the cottages at Hooper Hollow. Campbell Clinic provides full-service orthopedic care, everything from sports medicine to foot and ankle surgery to spine and total joint care to pediatric orthopedics, physical therapy, and more. To book an appointment, go to campbellclinicoxford.com or call 901-759-3111. Walk-ins always available and welcome at the Campbell Clinic, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we're presented by Twisted Tea. Are you ready to elevate your college football game day experience? Check out Twisted Tea, your go-to game day beverage for college football fans. Twisted Tea is unlike any hard beverage you've ever had before. It's made with real brewed tea. It packs a flavorful punch, 5% alcohol, no carbonation, delivering the perfect balance of taste and refreshment that goes down smooth for every game day occasion. No need to settle for the usual. Twisted Tea turns up any occasion, especially when you're cheering for your favorite team. Whether you're tailgating at the stadium parking lot, watching at a bar, or hosting friends at home, Twisted Tea is there to elevate game day experience. It perfectly complements your love for college football, your passion for creating unforgettable moments. So let's toast to unforgettable game day experiences with Twisted Tea, the drink that fuels fun and celebrates your love for college football. Keep it twisted.
So, Luke, you say you've got a first date here in about an hour. What's the details? Where are we going? What do we know about this individual? I mean, I get blind date, I get it, but no, it's not a blind date. Sorry, I read that as blind date. It just says going on a first date.
First date.
So, what do we know? We need deets. Let's go. I mean, if you want to call in, we'll open the hotline early
Yeah.
for that one.
I'm sure he's thrilled about
I'm sure
that.
he would be love to.
Tell us all about this first date. What do you do on a first date? It's been a long time.
I mean, you don't go to a movie because you can't talk.
Right.
That's job one.
Is it you go to dinner, I guess?
You go to dinner, but you don't want to like crazy formal either. Like,
Right,
it's
right,
kind of
right.
like nice casual, right? Isn't that the move?
It says bar in the Fenway area.
Okay. So like just drinks, so in case it's whatever we can escape, or is that like an opening, or is that just because you want to just get the first date out of the way and move forward? Like what's the logic we're doing here? What's the move on this? I'm just curious. Let's live vicariously all through Luke here tonight. Yeah, did you meet on some sort of device?
I wonder how common that is now. Devices.
Incredibly.
50%?
Maybe more. Yeah. Let us know there.
He met on Hinge.
Okay, so what does Hinge do? What is that? Because I think is it Bumble or the female has to initiate? What is Hinge? What is their shtick that allows it to be a thing? Says she likes cocktails and want to go to a bar. Good enough. I'm good with you.
All right, Hinge.
Whoa, Jay Robertson says he met his wife on Tinder. See, that's surprising because I always thought Tinder was the one, not necessarily for relationships, if you will.
I'm always hesitant to hit this because you know I'm going to get bombarded with stuff.
You think your analytics are about to get a little funny on you? Big Ben says 80%.
Hinge is built on the belief that anyone looking for love should be able to find it. It's also built on an acclaimed Nobel Prize-winning algorithm. So we can succeed in getting you out on promising dates, not keeping you on the app. This is how we do it. At the heart of Hinge, hey Hinge, hook us up. We want anyone looking for love to be able to find it. Relationships are at the core of what we do and not just the romantic kind. We can't accomplish really hard things alone, so we make great relationships the foundation of our teamwork. They believe in 3 core values. Chase, would you like to guess what the core values are?
Give me the first one, and then we'll go from there.
Number 1 is authenticity.
Okay, I was going to say honesty, so that'll play into the same.
All right. Take a stab at the second core value at Hinge.
Communication?
No.
Okay, what do we got?
Courage.
Oh.
Breakthroughs require willingness to take risk and embrace lofty goals and tough challenges. And then third is empathy.
Okay.
We're all humans first.
All right.
So we deeply consider the perspective.
Yes, if
of
Hinge
others.
gives us a shout out and we turn that into an advertising, yes, you get a kickback, Luke. That is more than allowed there. They say now Tinder is just a normal dating app, not the hookup app that it was back in the day.
Hinge uses a Nobel Prize-winning algorithm that helps you go on better.
Whoa, Nobel Prize winning?
I'm reading what it says. Okay? Listen,
I got questions.
Listen, if you want to come after me on Hinge, you're going to have to go somewhere else because this is the first I've ever even heard of it. You're 8 times more likely to have a great date with your most compatible suggestions, a.k.a. the people you're most likely to have mutual chemistry with. Research has shown us that 8 is the magic number. When our members had more free likes per day, their matches were worse. When they had fewer, they were paying to send more. So now everyone gets 8 for free. 8 meaningful likes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nobel Prize winning.
No transparent likes. No anonymous likes. We show you who has liked you so you don't miss out on a potential match.
Okay, good. Authenticity, as they said.
Reply reminders. We let you know when it's your turn to reply. It's a friendly nudge that helps you focus on your matches and limits accidental ghosting.
Accidental ghosting.
Ghosting.
Sure.
And then they have smart matches where they ask about your dates to learn your type so they can introduce you to the right people. Hinge is obsessed with principles, Chase. So much so that they wrote a book about them. How We Do Things is the name of the book. Tells the story of the key ideas that guide just about everything we do here at Hinge, from hiring and product to working as a team and setting goals.
Kevin says he's newly divorced on the apps, takes all his first dates to the same place, a controlled environment. Wasn't there a Netflix movie about that where like the dude just took all the people to the same place on the first dates? Because like at some point the waitresses and waiters are like,
Oh, here you go.
it's Kevin.
It's Kevin.
How's that going, Kevin? This one good? Thank you.
By the way, we have lots of content up. If you are looking for hardcore football,
This isn't it.
This is probably not it. We're going to touch football in a minute. We got Pete's Pigskin Preview is up. That is hardcore football.
He's tired and I can't talk, so it's a little bit of.
It's really hardcore football. And then after this show at 7:00. Oh,
it's a call.
I was like, what is that?
It's a Jackson number though.
Hey, who we got? Do you hear that?
I do hear that.
Hey, who do we have? No.
Okay.
That was weird.
Yeah. So at 7:00, you have who? Are they calling again?
Yeah, they're trying. It's a voice audio is what it says.
Okay.
Hey, who do we have? Yeah.
It's not working.
I think I'm going to turn it off and then turn it back on.
Okay.
I don't know if it's my deal or.
I'm feeling fine. Like I have no other symptoms. I've just lost my voice as the week has gone on. Really yesterday and then into today. So no, I'm fine. And I mean, we have almost 48 hours to the minute until the post-game show on Saturday. So the honey helped a little bit this morning. The tea helped. Midday was when it was the worst, but we're recovering. It's gonna be all right.
We have a bonus edition, I was going to say, of the Oxford Exxon podcast. It's got 3 guests. Ryan Brown of the Next Round joins. Tony Tsoukalis of Tide Illustrated joins, part of the Rivals Network. And then Corey Reamer, former Alabama linebacker, now part of the Crimson Tide Sports Network. He does the pre- and post-game calls and stuff. So he's going to join us as well. So.
And then audio, just a normal podcast. In the morning, I will load this as the Friday Exxon podcast. Oxford Exxon podcast will also load. I spent a couple hours today at Wild Rose Kennel. Talked to Tom Smith about training Juice, about their business out there, and about the getting your British Labrador retriever if you are so inclined. So
probably a little more difficult to get one now, right?
I think Juice has been good for business. It was already good for business anyway. Wild Rose is the standard in that business in the United States. But yeah, I think Juice probably elevating a little bit. But got some Juice stories. Talked to Tom about his unusual path into ownership of a business like Wild Rose and more. Yeah, I met Juice's dad today. The actual Labrador.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not Lane. I know Lane.
That would actually be the first time you really met.
That's a good
Lane.
point. Yeah, no, I petted Danny today, which is Juice's.
I bet Danny's, is he proud or a little pissed off?
He looks almost exactly like Juice, to the point of you go, hey, you really got kind of robbed here because
you could have been Juice.
Juice was there.
Was he?
He'd had a photo shoot this morning and was still at Wild Rose, had not been delivered back to Lane today. So,
hey, who we got?
Hello.
Hey, what's up? Who's this?
Hey, this is Will in Nashville.
Hey,
How are
Will.
y'all?
Will, I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. I'm just curious. Leading up to this weekend.
We lost you for a minute. You're curious about what?
I'm curious if Bama fans have ever been more nervous about a game in Tuscaloosa before this weekend.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure they have. It's probably been a.
it's an
Probably been a
interesting
minute.
question, though, from the standpoint of they've won so much without having to even really think about that second or third loss or it being over, that it legitimately might be the most nervous they've been in a long time, simply because when you lose, it is a really another big sign of, hey, this season's whatever, and this thing feels weird, and Georgia's won 2 titles. I mean, if you kind of break that down into prior to Saban, they weren't good enough to get this nervous. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Because you were just sort of whatever.
Yeah.
You could have an argument if you're talking about the full totality of the Alabama program that, I mean, it might be some Gene Stallings kind of crap here in that view.
Yeah. Bama fans are going to be just absolutely on edge leading up to this one. I think this is going to be a tipping point on if the Saban era is truly over. So I'm going to hang up and let y'all discuss.
No, I think
you're taking the call.
I think you're
Thanks,
right.
Will.
Yeah, thanks for the call. Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, I've talked to some people there. I know some people there, obviously. I think they know it's coming to an end. I think the smart people read Glenn Gilbo's story and went, yeah, he's not making it up. Glenn didn't make that up. I'm not saying the friend is right, but he talked to someone close to Saban who said, hey, it's about over. He's about to do something different. There's a lot of the pieces are there. Hey, who's this?
Hello?
Hey, who we got?
This is Rodney.
Hey, Rodney, what's
Hey,
up?
Rodney, what's up?
This is Neal.
It is. What's up?
Well, I just want to say, fellas, and I just turned in, seeing y'all on here. So, I just want to talk about this Bama game right quick.
Okay.
I don't know why Saban wants to run his mouth. I mean, not Saban, Kiffin. Been poking the bear. Why would you want to poke a hornet's nest? You know, ever since last year, after the Alabama game last year, Kiffin's got on my bad side. Because I think that Alabama game last year cost us the Arkansas and State game with all the stuff going on with Auburn. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm thinking Alabama's going to really pop Ole Miss Saturday.
No.
Man, I hope I'm wrong. But
No, go ahead.
I just think I like Alabama to beat Ole Miss something like 35-13, something like that. And I hope I'm wrong.
Rodney, if that happens, you're hosting the post-game show.
Hey, Rodney, how quickly can you get to Oxford if the third quarter looks bad?
Oh, I can get there in an hour, but people better get ready for it because I'm telling you.
We'll set you up and we'll call it the MPW Digital Post Game Show with Rodney, and Chase and I will just go sit out in the patio and drink. I'll show you how to work everything real quick.
Just look at the history of the. We've beaten them twice over. Was it Hugh Freeze and Billy Brewer?
And Billy Brewer.
The only two coaches ever go over there and win.
The day they were honoring the Bear
Man,
Bryant
Kiffin,
Museum was the first time
coach.
he did it in 1988.
Wow.
You know, it's funny. It's funny about that, though, Rodney, because I'm kind of with you. Like, one of the reasons I picked Alabama is simply because Ole Miss is 2-37 there all time. It's true. But at the same time, what happened in 1991 does not exactly have any essence whatsoever to Saturday's football game. So
I do wonder, to Rodney's point, though.
True.
To your point, Rodney, I'll go on the record here. I agree with you. I don't know why Lane poked. I don't know why Lane poked the bear. I'll tell you this. Talking to people, it absolutely did poke the bear. It worked.
The question is what the claws are on the bear.
Right.
Right. I mean, if you would just went in there silent, confident, and, you know, they got trouble going on. As the dynasty's coming to an end, because it's getting over, let's let it load, just let it lie, and then go in there and dominate if you can. But now they're going to be all up for this game. That's what gets me. So he wants to get the popcorn ready 2 years ago, and now he's doing all this mess. It just pisses me off.
So is there something about the matchup that bothers you too, as far as the rosters, or is it just kind of mentality of it?
Well, you know they got a lot better roster than Ole Miss, just because of recruiting, and we have some injuries at key positions. That's like wide receivers. Is Franklin going to play?
He is going to dress and play to some capacity, in my opinion.
So here's the
injury report.
Here's the injury report, Rodney. Hang tight. Caden Prescorn's good. He's going to go.
Go.
That's the one you can count on.
Okay.
Zachary Franklin, I think, is definitely going to dress. He's definitely going to play. Depends on who you believe and who you talk to as to how effective he can be and how much he's going to be able to do. Okay.
He hasn't really even practiced outside of a couple days.
There are
Over a couple weeks.
there's varying information about him. And I know people get frustrated by that. We do too, but it is what it is. I watched him on Tuesday. He had a noticeable limp. Franklin. Is it possible that Is it possible that the limp has disappeared by Saturday? Of course, right? I don't know. Different people say different things. And then Chase and I have heard
varying
things about Trey Harris. I think I feel very confident in saying that Trey Harris will be very limited at best.
I do believe he dresses and travels.
I had heard.
Well, we just. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, hang tight real quick. I had heard from one source that he was not going to play. I've heard from another person that he's going to dress and give it a go in pregame. Chase has heard that
they were going to try to find him some things that would take pressure off that joint if he could do those routes and do those things.
But he's not going to be 100% full go Trey Harris. That's out.
Right. Well, here's my thing on Harris. I wouldn't even play him at all because you're going to need him down the road next week, LSU and then Arkansas. Why you could get him hurt worse if he.
Yeah, I don't know enough about his injury to know if you can make it worse by playing or being on it or not. I just have no idea. But yes, if there is any danger of that, I would definitely not. I'd put him in bubble wrap and send him out.
But he didn't have surgery, right?
No, it's our understanding that he did not have a procedure.
Okay. Well, what gives me confidence is I think Judkins could have a breakout game. I mean, I'm hoping, and I've got full confidence in Dart. He's got so much better over the year. And don't get me wrong. I'm wanting Ole Miss to win this game, but Kiffin sure has made an uphill battle, fellas.
Rodney, great hearing from you.
All right, fellas. Y'all have a good.
You too. $22-point loss. That'll make for a fun week next week.
Oh, boy.
We could open up the phones Monday morning.
$662, blah, blah, blah. Go ahead.
So you just put up a poll. The question is, who has more rushing yards Saturday, Quinshon Judkins or Jackson Dart? Listen, if the answer is Dart, this is not a good thing.
Well, no, it's not a good thing. But I still think the question is very relevant.
Oh, I do too. Hey, who do we have?
Hey, it's Andrew from Dallas. How are y'all?
Andrew, good. How are you?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
Doing well. So, cool. I have a question that I've been debating with some of my buddies who all graduated with me there. If I'm not quick to say that the Saban era is quite over yet, but if it is well known that Lane wants that job. How comfortable are we with him being in the first year of his contract that
Alabama's not hiring Lane Kiffin? I'll stop you. I'll stop you. Alabama's not hiring Lane Kiffin. Alabama's not hiring Lane Kiffin.
Who do you think they get?
I don't know, but it won't be Lane Kiffin. I'm not sure he'd be on the top 10.
Sounds good. I mean,
I'm not sure he'd be on the top 20.
If it's one more year down the road, I would think it's Dan Lanning.
Lanning, Cristobal, D'Amico Ryans.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a long list. I just
see my attitude was that, like, I told my friends. I agree with you. I mean, I agree with y'all. But
if it's Lane Kiffin, it's a long time from now, and a lot of people who were there when he was there aren't there anymore. Period.
Good to know. Yeah. Good to know.
It's why when people
thanks, guys.
it's why when people were doing the deal about Auburn and people said, well, he won't take the Auburn job because if he takes the Auburn job, he's not ever going to get the Alabama job. That was I always laughed at that. Like that had nothing to do with it. He was not getting the Alabama job. And if Saban has a say in it, and if he's alive, he will. It won't be Kiffin.
Good insight. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. D'Amico Ryans is interesting.
Yeah.
But you get fired at your current job? I mean,
I don't know. Would he leave the NFL to go to
Yeah.
Alabama? I don't know. You know, I don't know. I don't know his.
I mean, he's not winning up there anytime soon.
I don't know where his heartstrings are or whatever, but he's incredibly well thought of. And he would absolutely get a phone call.
If you're worried about Kiffin leaving in a scenario where Nick Saban leaves, it's somebody takes the Alabama job and somebody takes this job, and the dominoes create some sort of something somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, I'm not trying to like stir it up. Lane Kiffin got told to leave after a national semifinal before a final. Okay? I mean, run the math on that. If everything were honky-dory, you wouldn't have messed it up. You wouldn't have said, hey, you know what? You're willing to coach the championship? No, go ahead. We'll bring up a guy that hasn't called a play all season.
Better relationship, Nick and Lane or Hugh and Gus?
Hugh and Gus.
You think that's legitimate?
Yeah.
Completely legitimate?
No, not completely legitimate, but a better relationship.
Okay.
Hey, who do we have?
Hey, I'm on.
Yep.
Hello?
You're on. Go ahead.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, turn your device off, and that way you won't have a delay.
Pause on here sometime. I've always listened to you guys. Really enjoy it.
Thank you.
I want to talk about a couple things. I was in Stillwater with the Creek Problem.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
I would recommend anybody go ahead and do that.
We're having a hold on. Talk into your phone. We can't hear you.
All that. To be honest, after Tulane and South Alabama, week 1, I don't know what to think, because Tulane had some dudes up front, and seeing them do what they did the next week with Ole Miss, I don't know what to think, but South Alabama was pretty dominant. I was up there. My younger brother Reed played at South Alabama, so didn't know if y'all got to tune into that or not.
South Alabama and Tulane. Yeah, we're having a hard time hearing you. You're not. Your connection's not good.
Well, it's whatever you were doing. It's not like you're walking a dog or something. It was like the ground that was causing the problem. We have watched.
I can't hear him, so I disconnected.
Yeah, we have watched. I'll try to guess it, and you can call back if you can stop walking. My voice made that sound more stern than I meant it. I did not mean it sternly. We have watched some part of all 3. I guess. Yeah, was it 3 Tulane games to this point? Look, they're fine. They're not bad. I do get South Alabama did what they did to Oklahoma State, which raised some eyebrows on Tulane. I understand that. It's Pratt's injury that is.
It's the part you don't know. Hey, who do we have?
Hey, this is Booth again. Sorry, I'm muted myself.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, you're good now.
We couldn't hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
That's better.
Deal.
Go ahead.
What I was saying, Neal, I heard you talking earlier today about wanting to get up to Stillwater, and I was curious, Chase, have you ever been up there or
sorry,
anything like that?
I have never been. I don't know that I've been in the state of Oklahoma unless I'm forgetting something, honestly. You took a college visit there, Neal? Not you, but one of the kids?
Yeah, Campbell visited OU.
Okay.
Yeah, well, the reason I'm talking about it. My younger brother, he plays for South Alabama and Kane, and can't speak highly enough about Kane and that staff and that culture down there. I mean, from the opening drive, I was kind of waiting for Oklahoma State to show something, but from the snap one, it was pretty dominant. So that was impressed. That was very impressive.
I mean, I'm biased. I'm biased here, right? I mean, he's a friend, and we've been friends for a long time, and I'm very fond of Kane, and I think that's mutual. And I cheer for him. I'll admit that freely. So I'm putting all the biases out. He's 36 years old. Before he turns 40, he will be a Power 5 head coach. He will, and if he takes the right job, I think he will win big. He's really, really, as you know, he's really, really good with culture. He's really, really good with understanding young people and being able to relate to them and also push them at the same time. He's laid back enough to not be crazy, and he's intense enough to not be too laid back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's the whole package. He comes from a coaching family. His dad, Dave, I know some people like to make jokes about some of those last defenses, whatever. Dave was an elite defensive coach for a long time and knows everybody, and he's got a lot of Dave's mannerisms and stuff, but he's got some serious intensity to him. And look, Kane's gonna land a big time job.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, I was at game one against Tulane, and after watching that, I mean, I knew South was had a chance to be a good team, but then I watched what they did against Ole Miss. I mean, do we not just think that Tulane actually has a pretty good football team? And
yeah, they do have a good team.
We might have been discounting that a little bit.
Well, I mean, I think the problem with the Tulane game for Ole Miss is that you can't help but ask the following question.
Michael Pratt.
Would the game have been different if Michael Pratt had played? And the answer is, I don't know. That is the only answer that you can honestly come up with. If you go, oh yeah, they would have lost, that's too strong. And if you go, oh no, Pratt would have made no difference at all, that's ridiculous. And so the answer is somewhere in the middle, and that's an ambiguity that you can't define because it didn't happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember watching Pratt in pregame. I was like, I mean, he can spin it all and all, but I wasn't too impressed. And then the game hit, and it seemed like he didn't make a bad read. Everywhere he threw, somebody was open. I remember specifically he threw one touchdown, and it was cold. He threw the touchdown and ran all the way down the sideline, staring at South Alabama's bench. Like, it was the dude's a gamer. And speaking about Tulane, I want to think that Ole Miss has a really good chance Saturday, and I do. I think Lane and Pete are going to have really good plans, and like that won't be an issue. But God, I just can't get that. Even though Tulane has a solid defensive front, that offensive line performance against Tulane, and thinking about them, that talent level versus Alabama is the only thing that gives me second thoughts. I mean, obviously most of that group has done it before. They were in for a lot, but I don't know, man. That's what gives me a little hesitation about Saturday, and I think it's going to be a really good game. But man, it's going to be a different animal. Even though it was close with South Florida, all that, I get it. But that doesn't change their talent level. I mean, those guys, they're going to be ready to play. And I don't know. That's kind of all I got on my end. Appreciate y'all having my call.
Thank you for calling. Appreciate it. No, I mean, Alabama's going to be ready to play. Ole Miss is going to be ready to play. We've talked about this for weeks. This is the day we find out a lot.
They're discussing the stream if 23 would be a bigger win over Alabama than 14 and 15. I mean, the problem with those two wins,
not sure how you measure that.
Well, because they both led to Access Bowls where the win was necessary to get into the Access Bowl, but that's what it was. I mean, this one at the moment is bigger because bigger things are potentially ahead, but there's no way to have that answer until the future.
Hold on, caller, 1 second. I've got you on. We'll get to you in 1 second.
You know what I mean?
14 was really, really big because at that moment it established them as legitimate.
Yeah, in that run.
It you know, they finally gotten game day to come. And I'm not a game day person. So people are like, is game day coming? I'm like, who cares? But I realize most people care. I think the show's horrible. But Katy Perry was there. It was packed. The weather was perfect. The game was amazing. They had early adversity, the bad call on Mathers and the scoop and score, and to come back and to win the game the way they did and all of that. That was kind of if you were an Ole Miss fan, that was a magical day. And it also said, hey, we're here. We're legitimate. 15 was a big deal. People don't remember how big of a deal it was because they lost. I guess that was their Arkansas year and they kind of threw it away or whatever. But that was a big deal. This would be a huge deal for Kiffin. I don't know. I think 14 was a bigger win for the quote program.
Well, it depends what you do. If you go to Atlanta,
right,
then it was a huge.
Yeah. But
if you don't, it's just the same as the other ones, and 14 still wins.
Yeah. Hey, who do we have?
Hey guys, it's Austin.
Hey, Austin.
So I'm kind of tired of talking about the game this week because it's putting my stomach in knots. So I kind of wanted to ask you guys a different kind of question because I figured y'all are probably tired of talking about it too. Is that cool with y'all?
Sure.
So I'm not sure if y'all know this or not, but I'm pretty sure Colorado has Deion Sanders as their head coach. I'm not sure if you guys have been paying attention to the media or not. But
heard that.
Like, it's been so under wraps. What you heard that too?
I did hear that.
It's been a really well kept secret.
Yeah. Did you know?
Hey, listen. So I have
Austin, did you know that Colorado? Listen to this. This is crazy. This concept. Did you know that Colorado this week, getting ready for their trip to Oregon, piped in crowd noise and the Oregon fight song? Can you believe that? Is genius.
That was reported somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. What?
The Colorado media reported that Deion Sanders piped in crowd noise and the Oregon fight song. Hey, I even heard they practice with regulation footballs. It is this dude, his eye for preparation is off the charts.
Man, that is revolutionary.
I know.
That'll probably catch on.
Oh, listen. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's next.
Man. Hey, but seriously though, so all joking aside. So his kids are clearly on the football team. I'm not sure what his one son is, but I know the other son is a quarterback. I'm not sure about the other one. I think he plays defense somewhere. Could be wrong. But here's a question, and this is something I never hear anybody talk about when it comes to Deion, because everybody always says, hey, where's he going to go next? Is he going to be at Colorado very long? I'll ask you guys this, and what do you guys think? Do you guys think when his sons are graduated, he'll quit or he'll step down or do something else? That's a serious question. I've been thinking about that for a few days and wonder.
I think he keeps doing it for a little while, as long as he is successful. Deion doesn't appear to me like the guy that takes 4 years to turn something around and grinds through much. Feels like it's kind of work is relative because look, a 7-5 year at Colorado is a hell of a year. But I don't know. I mean, I'm almost kind of talking myself out of it as I'm answering the question.
I just don't know.
I mean, I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, does he turn this into a job at a bigger program? Here's a question: if you're, I was trying to think of an SEC school, but if you're Michigan State, do you go after Deion Sanders? Do you throw a ton of money at him at a Big Ten school? Get him in a Big Ten? If it were an SEC school, does this make it easier for you?
You have to be okay with him being the program.
Yeah, he's it. And there are only a handful of programs that it's my thing about Kiffin and Ole Miss when people will be like, Lane's going to leave. I'm like, okay, well, understand that wherever Lane goes, he's got to be the program. How many programs are going to pay $9 million and go, yeah, and by the way, you're the whole program?
Taylor says Arkansas would. I would pay some money to watch Deion in Fayetteville.
Yeah, I don't think
that's a bad fit.
I don't think that, and I don't think they pay like that. I'll tell you this: it's got to go, and I think Arkansas is probably making a mistake, but I think it's got to go really bad for Arkansas to move off of Pittman this year because of the money, like really bad. What else you got?
Man, that was it. I just kind of wanted to change the conversation because I know you guys are probably tired of talking about the obvious with Ole Miss and Alabama. So hope you guys have a good night. Thanks for taking my call, guys.
Appreciate you. Hey, who do we have?
Hey, this is Mark in Columbus.
Hey, Mark, what's up, man?
Well, you'll like this. I'm playing golf, and I hit my second shot on the 15th hole listening to you guys. Kind of a blind shot. And hit it right at the flag. I don't see it short. I don't see it on the green. I don't see it over the green. Walk up, it's in the hole.
How about that?
Congratulations.
That's what we do.
Literally 3 minutes ago.
That's what we do.
A minute ago.
We have that way with golfers.
So you're calling before you hit your tee shot on 16?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm on the tee on 16. I put my phone on the ground when you answer is ready to hit.
Go ahead and hit it. Go ahead and hit it. We'll listen. We'll listen to the shot, then you can pick us back up.
I play golf a little better than the Tennessee Volunteers play football, that's for sure.
It was one game. It's going to be fine.
Come on.
They were predicted to go to the damn Cotton Bowl or something by ESPN yesterday.
The quarterback stinks. He doesn't believe the coach doesn't believe in the line of scrimmage. All right. I hit.
Oh, was that a hit?
Par 3, par 4, what are we doing?
Yeah. Short par 4. I play with a 5-iron wedge.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, a layup shot. You can hit a driver, but it's not really. No, but I think Florida's got dudes up front, like NFL dudes. And people in Knoxville think Billy Chit Napier is some chump. I'm like, no, he's really not. But that was largely disappointing. I'm playing Bama minus the 6.5 Saturday. I hate to say it. You tell me the line is the same as when they played Texas. The point spread is the same as when they played Texas. I think Texas is a better team than Ole Miss.
I do too.
That's the only power ratings wise reason I'm playing it. That's the only reason I'm taking them.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Nothing personal against.
No, I get it. Pete's Pigskin preview is up, and Pete said the one outcome that he did not buy at all was Ole Miss winning big, which means he thinks Alabama could win big. He thinks Ole Miss could win, but he thinks if you told him that someone won big, he'd bet it was Alabama. He's worried about the matchup with Milroe, and he's worried about Ole Miss's ability to run the football with someone other than Dart. I mean, look, it's still a talented Alabama team.
I think Dart will have to have a Matt Corral in Neyland Stadium type performance for them to win the game. Like elevates him to Heisman talk type performance for them to win the game.
I could buy that.
And I think, I watched him play. I watched him play against Georgia Tech, and when he runs the ball, he looks like Corral. His shiftiness and is not afraid to stick his nose in there, and I mean he's legit athlete at the quarterback position. What do you guys think of the Ohio State Notre Dame game?
We all picked Notre Dame to win to the point that I'm beginning to question all of us.
Yeah, I think Ohio State's going to kick their ass.
Oh. Do you really?
For some reason. And I'm not. And look, they're turning on him here on day.
Turning on him?
He needs to win this game.
He was one field goal from the national title last year.
Yeah, but Chase, there are 36 other coaches that would have accomplished what he accomplished in 4 years at Ohio State. Everybody wins there.
Just
the
think,
last 5 coaches will be in the Hall of Fame.
just think what Hugh Freeze would do there. I mean, God.
I mean,
all right, let me ask you this.
Have a revival meeting and baptize 5 kids.
Let's say Ohio State got rid of Ryan Day. Who's the top 3 names at Ohio State?
They're not going to get rid of him because Gene Smith's retiring, so he and Holtman have caught breaks because I don't think Gene Smith's going to run a coaching search in a retirement year, and they're going to let the new AD get his feet wet. But obviously Luke Fickell, obviously Mike Vrabel, if he would come back to college, and then I have no idea.
Okay.
I mean, everybody. See, that's the thing. The Ohio State football job. Every coach in the country, not named Kirby or Nick, is picking up their phone. Every one of them, they're at least taking the call.
Yeah, I agree with that. At least taking the call.
I mean,
no doubt. Yeah, agreed.
They're taking the call, and like so that's why you elevated a first-year offensive coordinator when Urban left. He took a stacked roster in 19. Got a little unlucky in the semi, but nobody had beaten LSU. 20, he get over the Clemson hump, but they got their tails kicked in a COVID year. 21, they got just Michigan took over the conference from a physical standpoint, and then last year, yeah, that was their, they were that close to beating Georgia, but outside of that Clemson win in a COVID year, that's Ryan Day's best quote unquote win was a 2-point loss to Georgia because he coached his ass off, and the quarterback played his ass off. They still lost. I mean, great game. He still lost, and they looked terrible the first 2 weeks here. That people they're turning on him a little bit. I wouldn't say it's not he's on the hot seat, but they're turning on him. He needs to win. He better not roll out at 9-3. Lose to Notre Dame, lose to Penn State, lose to Michigan, or he's not going to be comfortable.
I don't love Penn State as much as I thought I might going into the year. I get a little more or less on them for whatever reason.
We'll see how they look against Neal's Hawkeyes.
Yeah, we're going to get them. We're going to get them. Brian's going to break out that dynamic offense it's been in mothballs. We're going to bring it out this week. We're going to throw that thing around. There's going to go, what happened?
Iowa's going to go 7-5, and in their bowl game, Phil Parker's defense is going to have 2 defensive touchdowns to push him over the threshold and keep him employed there in Iowa City.
Hey, Mark, good luck with the rest of your game, bud.
I got one more question.
All right,
yeah, go ahead.
I got one more question for you guys. It's college football related. You're Michigan State. Don't you think that you better get your house in order before the next round of TV contracts and conference realignment around? Because if you're a complete mess, there's a chance you're not one of these 35 to 40 teams that are going to be playing big-time college football, no matter how big your university is and no matter how much revenue you got. Because that thing's a disaster.
Yeah, I just think we're a long way away from that. I really do. I think we're a long way from 30 to 35 teams breaking away from the rest. I could see 60 teams or 55 teams breaking away, but the whole 30 thing, the NFL,
the EPL kind of deal,
the second NFL, I don't know. I don't think they go there. It's too healthy right now. They're getting too. Look at the numbers Colorado and Colorado State got. 2 teams that would have no chance of making the 32. I just don't think they go. I don't think they go there. Hey, Mark, thanks for the call, bud.
Would you think that Okay, thanks, buddy.
I think he was saying, would Dan Mullen consider Michigan State?
Yes, of course. Of course, he wants to coach. Yeah. Why not? He considered Mississippi State. Why would he not consider Michigan State?
There aren't many schools up north for Michigan State.
Yeah. I don't even know the logistics of Michigan and Michigan State. Is East Lansing north of Ann Arbor? Ann Arbor is basically a Detroit suburb.
Yeah. I mean, you have like the UP, but
look at you.
Oh yeah.
Is that where Ypsilanti is? Is in the Upper Peninsula?
Is it?
I don't know.
They have very underrated golf up there in the
Yeah.
right weather. It's pretty good golf in Michigan.
You know the ad for Michigan, like come visit Michigan,
Pure
It's
Michigan.
pure Michigan. It's
Pure
pretty
Michigan.
compelling. Every time you look at it, you're like, man, that looks nice.
Yeah, like get a lake house out there
Yeah,
somewhere and go,
yeah.
hey, it's
Sounds good.
not bad. Yeah, I don't think he has beer. You have beer?
I do have.
Oh, do you have beer?
Yeah.
Okay. It's 3 rain pouring into 1 cup.
No, God, no. My sleep scores this week have been so bad. No rain.
I drugged last night, worried about the cold, and got an 89 sleep score.
Really?
Yeah. Took some stuff just to try to make sure I wasn't sick and
So
knocked me out.
I had nightmares Monday night and Tuesday night.
Nightmares?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
You remember them?
yeah.
Okay.
So on Monday night, I pulled a baby out of like a pool and was trying to give it CPR when I woke up.
Holy hell.
Yeah. And on Tuesday night, there was a little boy in a green, he was wearing like a green pajamas, but they were like a onesie pajamas. Green is dark green with light green polka dots. And he was running around and like waving his hands, and something was wrong with him, and I was trying to figure it out when I woke up. I was dealing with a lot of stuff, man.
So you were in rapid eye movement at least, so your sleep scores weren't good?
No, my sleep scores were pretty bad all week.
Really?
Yeah. Hey, who do we have?
Hey, this is Curtis in Houston. How you guys doing?
Hey, Curtis, we're good.
Yeah, I've been a board member for a really long time, probably since about, I don't know. When did you guys start? It was probably about 2008, I think, or 7 when
Neal
I got
started in 2008.
on. Oh, how about that? Well, it's our little secret marriage date, Neal, me and you.
Thank you, Curtis. Happy anniversary.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I love you back, brother. I'm a big fan of you guys, especially the Siskey podcast. It really lightens my soul to see him on the board and listen to you guys. It's fantastic. So keep it up. Great work.
I'll tell him.
Please do. He's my guy. I'm not like the other guy from Dallas that wanted to talk about Deion. I want to talk about Ole Miss and the Alabama game. There's a lot going around. I think you guys have even touched on it. Saban possibly retiring after this year. How much credence do you give to that? I mean, what's your real opinion on that?
I think it's either this year or next year. I actually believe Gilbo's story.
I think we miscalculated because we were playing instead of really thinking. I think Nick's calmer demeanor is simply him doing a bit of a lap or two, and he appears to be enjoying things a little more, soaking it in a little more. I mean, he's different, but I think it's different as in, hey,
He's in his 70s. He's in his 70s. He's made a ton of money. He's won a gazillion championships. I mean, Nick Saban could not win another game. He could lose to Ole Miss tomorrow, Saturday, and then lose the rest of the games. I don't know who's left. He could lose them all. And at the end of the season, he could retire, and we would all go, he's the greatest ever. Because he's the greatest ever. So there's nothing left. And so he's a grandfather now. I think he wants to play golf. I don't think he likes this new iteration of college football. He's not alone. Frankly, most of his peers agree with him if they're honest. You know, he has clearly set himself up to do TV. He's good at it. It's not like he's going off. Like, people do the Bear Bryant thing. Like, well, Bear Bryant retired and died 30 days later. I get it. I don't think Saban's that dude. Like, people are like, if he's not coaching football, he's going to keel over. I'm like, well, I don't think that's true. I think he's going to do other things, and I think he'll do a lot of TV. And look, the rumor about him replacing Corso does not go away. It's constant. And if you watch Game Day, and I don't, because of that, it makes me sad.
Yeah, I know.
But there was a scene last week where Herb Street and Corso and
their friendship.
And if you told me Corso's is finally going to leave at the end of this season, I totally buy it. And If you added Saban to that show, and let's face it, Chase, it's it's a dying show, and the Fox Saturday show is pretty good. If you added Saban to that show, all of a sudden everybody's back in. I'm watching if it's Nick Saban, right? Live from Knoxville, it's Nick Saban, and
Sure.
I'm in. Sign me up. What's he going to say? Because the Corso thing is kind of rough, and he's a great man, and everybody who's ever met him says he's a great man, but it's hard to watch.
It is.
Yeah, I mean that was his like 400th head that he put on, of the team that was going to win, and they made it a big deal, and it was great. I mean, I've been watching that show since I was probably in college. I don't know. It's been
He's
a long
88
time.
years old.
Corso is?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't know he was that old. Okay, well, yeah. I mean, and you can tell, like you guys touched on. I mean, I watch Alabama. It's with a lot of hate, of course, but I watch them when they play. And Saban is not he doesn't seem to have the red ass as much as he's had in the past years. He looks more, I don't know, passive. I don't know. It's just weird because I'm used to seeing him, like Mount Vesuvius blow up on everything. And I kind of enjoyed that actually when he would do it. And he does seem different. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
I think he's enjoying it.
The show, I've got a show coming up later tonight. It's just a special edition of the Oxford Exxon podcast. And Corey Reamer, who played for Saban, kind of talks about that. He says, some of it is he knows he can't be that guy and still recruit these kids. And some of it is just age. I mean, you get older. Most people soften as they get older.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. And one more question, and I'll stop taking the time. I appreciate you guys taking the call. I watch, I see Dan Mullen on ESPN a lot for the college games, and he's a slick guy. I mean, he's slimy to me, and he's got a head like a bastard cat. I mean, he's got the biggest melon of anybody I've ever seen. But I do not, and I never liked him at State, obviously for obvious reasons. But even I can separate if you're just a great coach and different things. Like Saban, I can't stand him, but I respect the hell out of the guy, and I'll watch him, like you said, on game day and soak it in. But Mullen, dear God, I can't. That guy, to me, is awful. I mean, you guys might have a different opinion, but he creeps me even.
I don't really know him. I've only met him a couple of times. I don't really have any thoughts about him. I don't know him well enough on any kind of a professional or personal level to have an opinion on him.
Okay. Well, listen, man, I love the show. I listen to everything you guys put out. You do a fantastic job. And Neal, thank God for you and your common sense stance on so many things, specifically masking. And for the libs out there on the board that double mask and triple mask, and they can all kiss my ass. I mean, it's idiot. But I love you, brother. And Chase, you're awesome, man. You're a good side. You're a good side man. It's like Carson and McMahon or something. You guys rock.
Appreciate the call. Thanks.
All right, brother.
Where is game day this week? Is it Ohio State, Notre Dame?
I don't know. Dude, it's not an ageism thing. It's not. I'm sure everyone who I've ever met who knows him says he's a wonderful man. I have a hard time watching that show. McAfee has helped the show.
I just can't get behind him. I can't watch it. I can't stand him.
Well, McAfee's oversaturated.
Yeah.
And so the whole idea of adding Saban to that show would legitimize it and make it fresh in 1 second.
So, just because we'll get asked this, if Ole Miss wins the game on Saturday, if they win, I think game day is here next week for LSU, unless something really weird, unless they do one of those cute days.
Right.
Because I'm going through this.
Assuming LSU beats Arkansas, which I assume as well. Yeah.
Yes, LSU and Ole Miss wins. Because the only two ranked games of ranked v ranked currently on the slate, or there's three. USC at Colorado, but they just went to Colorado. They're not doing it again.
I wouldn't think.
That would be Colorado
would have to beat Oregon.
They would.
And if they beat Oregon, all bets are off.
Twice in 3 weeks.
Yeah, because he's the biggest story in the game.
Okay.
Yeah, if they
Heisman Trophy winner, Colorado.
If they beat Oregon, it's going to go back to Boulder. Sure.
Okay, so USC, Colorado's next.
Because look at here's the thing, right? The ratings they got for Colorado State.
Yeah.
What ratings would they get for undefeated Colorado against
SC.
Caleb Williams, Lincoln Riley, and SC? My God.
Everybody.
I mean,
yeah.
Who wouldn't watch it?
Yeah. Okay.
They're not beating Oregon.
They could go cute and go to Austin to catch Texas against an undefeated Kansas team if Kansas beat BYU this weekend.
BYU is my money line pick. So
I'm just saying that would be you haven't had the whole Texas thing since, but they did Texas Alabama 3 weeks ago.
They did, and they did Texas Alabama last year.
But it was in Bryant-Denny, not Austin.
Well, they did Texas Alabama in Austin last year.
Okay, well,
but sure.
Either way, they could do Texas Kansas.
They could do that
with those games ending that way. Ole Miss LSU, obviously. And the only other ranked game, and they were at Notre Dame this week, so they won't do this, but it would be cute if they won. Notre Dame is at Duke next weekend. So you could get Duke for the first time ever.
Yeah, they could do that. They could do that.
Now, Duke would have to beat, who are they playing tomorrow? Or Saturday? UConn. So
yeah,
it will be 4-0 Duke next weekend.
If Notre Dame beat Ohio State and Duke won,
you'd have Notre Dame back-to-back weeks.
But they could go to Duke for the first time, and they could get Coach K on, and they could do some of that stuff and make it.
Tell the Spurrier story.
They could do some stuff.
Those are your options.
But look, if Ole Miss wins and LSU wins, it's 2 top 10. They're going to come here.
I mean,
it's good. Does it? I know I'm in the minority on this, and so I'll shut up. I'm just going to shut up. I'm going to shut up all week if it happens. I'm happy for everybody who cares. I'm surprised so many people care.
I don't think it's the telecast. I think it's simply getting pegged as the game of the week.
Yes, it's publicity.
It's national.
Yeah, I get it.
Because you're getting the Lane and Chris Fowler or Reese Davis on Thursday. And Friday. It's 3 days of ESPN.
Right.
Hey, here we are.
Right. I get it. I do. Mostly.
Also.
Weird. Just does not show up anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's not good.
No. It's weird. Yeah. Whoever called just then, it did not register. Oh, that was on Skype, wasn't it?
Oh, it might have been.
Yeah. People are trying to call Skype. Call the number on the screen.
Yeah.
Call the number on the screen. Don't call Skype.
I mean, I guess you could have answered it.
I didn't realize.
I know. I'm just saying in general.
Yes.
So, whoops.
That wasn't even an old man moment. I was so locked in on that. I was like, that doesn't even sound right.
You were very.
You didn't catch it either, though, so it makes me feel better.
No, I was just.
Because you're younger than me, so if it was an old man moment, you would have caught it. Texas A&M's version of The Season is on right over there. Isn't that nice? God, look at it.
It does sound different, doesn't it? Oh, Ross.
Look at him. Look at him. We got his facial hair going. Been lifting weights. He's lost a little. Hey, who do we got?
Were y'all just describing me?
Yes.
Yes, we were talking about you. Facial hair, lost some weight. Looking good.
By the way, is this Scoops McCready?
No, it's not him. That is not a nickname that's going to stick. It's not going to happen.
We got to get him one of those old-timey press hats where they put Scoop or Press in the hat with like a note card or under the bill. Like the 1950s
I mean,
baseball
if a
writer?
Potato Log podcast shirt can do it, I mean, so can Scoops McCready. But
Yeah, not
by
happening.
the way, I don't even know if I mentioned who this was. This is Bob and Rev. Hey guys.
I
Hey,
do know
Bobby.
a guy that can get it on your little name tag in the press box when we move forward.
Scoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
We can.
Yeah, there'd be some people pissed off. I tell you that.
I think Ole Miss's sports information department would go with it. They'd probably laugh at it.
A few of them would. A few of them wouldn't. But it's okay. I mostly get along
Yeah, I'm
with
not
this.
going to broach that topic.
I mostly get along with those guys.
Carolina starting Andy Dalton this weekend, by the way. Bryce Young already hurt.
Oh, is he really?
Oh, no.
Ankle injury.
Oh.
Chase, by the way, are you getting sick, or did you just lose your voice screaming at the TV at the Saints game?
I've been a little sick, and here's the thing with me is that it's really frustrating. I lose my voice kind of like on the very end of being sick. So I think I'm fine, and I'm like, yeah, okay, a little cold, but no big deal. And then the cold will basically go away, and then I'm left with some semblance of laryngitis, and I can't talk for a couple of days. And for whatever reason, it's just the way the schedule's worked out. It's my heaviest day of the week for my podcast. It's my third of the day. And at some point, it just kind of got a little carried away there for a minute. But I'm all right. We'll be fine by Saturday afternoon. It'll work out. I was really the last 5 minutes of the podcast with Tom Smith from Wild Rose this morning. I mean, I sounded like the Brady Bunch. It was starting to really crack and mess up the last couple minutes.
Ooh.
So, no, I was pretty calm on Monday night. The
Buffalo
Saints were
went-
never in real danger of losing that football game.
No, they weren't. They weren't. I mean, dude, that I actually kind of do feel bad for Bryce Young, and I don't know why. That offensive line is just awful.
Well, I mean, they pointed out that they brought, they used Dalton for quarterback sneaks because Bryce was too young, too small to do quarterback sneaks.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
There are people who say he's
Is it-
going to be too
I don't
small
know.
to succeed.
Well, it said that about Drew, but I mean, even Drew was a little bit taller than him, right?
Stockier, just more weight. I mean, the thing with Bryce is it's almost kind of frail at times.
Oh, he's a twig, yeah. He's super skinny. I always wonder if you're on the goal line, why don't other NFL teams do like the drill over the top line? I feel like the Saints are the only ones that ever did that.
You did
Well,
see
he
it more
just
with him. Now you got
jumped
to
up,
trust
whipped
your
the football.
quarterback to A, strong hands and be smart because it's so easy to knock that ball out if there's any penetration at all. There's probably a certain rhythm to it. It's got to be pretty decent at it.
I mean, there was a minute there where it was almost automatic. I mean, I figured, NFL's a copycat league. I figured that would kind of take off there for a while, but I don't think it has.
Well, it's like Deuce, at Ole Miss, we
oh,
go
it
over
is.
the top, and you still don't see a ton of over the top.
No, you don't. Not at all. I didn't even look at this portion of Neal's picks. How confident are y'all that South Carolina covers Saturday?
I'm pretty confident. I don't think that's going to be a super close game, but I mean, look, please don't use me as a resource and bet actual money. I don't think State's.
Well, I'm not going that far, but
Yeah, I don't think State's very good, Vibin. I don't, and that's not some stick or whatever. I've watched them play. I just don't think they're very good. They're okay on defense. Their offense completely doesn't work with what they have. It doesn't make any sense.
I'll do you one further. They're a couple losses away from, I think, trying something different at quarterback.
Could be. I think they're the worst team in the West. I've watched everyone in the West pretty extensively. I've obviously watched Ole Miss. I've watched LSU. I've watched Alabama. I've watched Auburn. I've watched Arkansas. I've watched A&M. I've watched everybody. State's the worst team in the West right now.
Yeah, I think it's Arkansas. I think it's close, but
I think Arkansas is better. Arkansas is better than State.
BYU Arkansas game.
Arkansas is better
You
than
think?
State. Yeah, absolutely. Arkansas only gave up there's Keaton Slovis and those guys, and Arkansas held them to less than 300 yards. They had 14 offensive line penalties.
14.
14. The odds of that ever happening again are like 0, right? They gave up some big plays. They had one bad turnover, and they went for it on a 4th and inches at midfield that turned the game. But no, they statistically dominated BYU. I think, and they get that game in Arkansas. Arkansas will beat State. And they've yet to have Rocket Sanders, right? They get Rocket back at some point. It's gonna help their running game. Yeah, they're better than State.
Well, no, I honestly I don't know if I saw it somewhere. I heard Sanders was going to be back. His first game back was likely Ole Miss, and watch that some bitch that's going to be his first game back, and he's going to run for 250 yards. It never fails. Whenever someone comes back from injury against Ole Miss or off the bench, they just ball out.
I think he'll play next week against A&M.
I mean,
I think he'll play next week. I think
he need him.
Yeah, he's close to playing this week, is what I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, I took South Carolina. I don't know. That feels, I wouldn't say a lock, but I mean, I'm not even touching Ole Miss Bama. The first part of the week, I thought, maybe, the under, maybe. Nah, I'm not.
I think you could sprinkle some on the Ole Miss money line. I think it's going to be a close game.
Well, I don't think Ole Miss is winning.
Oh,
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, I don't know why. I don't know if it's PTSD from. I hammered down on Ole Miss. Was it 2 years ago, the last time they were in Tuscaloosa, where it was like almost a 2-touchdown spread? And sure enough, I think it wasn't top 4 game. For some reason, I don't know, man. I feel like it is. I think they're going to lose by multiple scores Saturday.
Oh.
It's just, I don't know. Maybe they don't.
That's
Maybe
popping up kind of often in our
Bama's got
calls all of a
issues.
sudden. People expecting some Bama moderate win here.
I think it's the closer to game day.
Yeah,
Nervousness.
Well, no. I mean, I think it's a mix of the injuries and the offensive line issue. Look, it's 3 games in, and I know they haven't exactly played just stout competition. Something feels like disjointed about this team already. I don't know. That might just be me being paranoid because I'm an Ole Miss and a Saints fan, but something just kind of feels off. Which, if you'd have told me Jackson Dart has been as good as he is, but something still feels wrong, I'm like, oh shit, what happened?
Well, they've been banged all to hell. And Judkins has been very average so far. Part of his fault, offensive line.
And I listened to the pod y'all did with Jeffrey this morning, or at least a little bit of it. I know Jeffrey was like, well, Bama's got some weird stuff going on in the locker room with Milrow. I was like, look, Bama's not going to be the only team on that field Saturday that's got locker room stuff going on. Like, there's stuff there.
It's just time to play the
It's
game.
a mixture of that. Huh?
It's just time to play the game.
Yeah, it's just time to play the game, man. That's what it boils down to. We'll know a whole lot. We'll know a whole lot more on Saturday. Bottom line, we'll know a lot more one way or the other.
Last thing. Did you guys? I mean, I'm assuming y'all watched the Texas-Alabama game. Did you see the clip? So apparently ESPN's doing this thing with McAfee now where they just do a whole nother broadcast and it's him on the sideline.
I saw some of it, but I didn't. That's not what I watched. I watched the main broadcast.
Did you see the part where they got Matthew McConaughey for like 5 minutes?
No, I watched the main broadcast. I saw where McAfee was there. I'm kind of like Chase. I don't have an issue with McAfee, but it doesn't do anything.
No,
for me.
This isn't even about McAfee. This is about McConaughey.
No.
I I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I have a very like dazed and confused, and first season a lot of McConaughey stuff is really high up in my book. And watching that dude watch a UT game, he kind of, I don't know, look the clip up if you haven't seen it. They pulled him on the sideline, and it was when Texas hit that deep ball for a touchdown, and he lost his freaking mind, and it was hilarious. Actually, when we play Texas at some point, y'all should definitely see if y'all can get him on the podcast. Reach out to his people.
Oh, I'm sure he'll give us an hour or two. Make sure we knock that out. I find him incredibly interesting. Like, he's weird as hell in a lot of ways, but when he says something, I kind of go, you know,
actually,
Green Lights is good.
I read his book.
Yeah, Green Lights is good. He's a really good public speaker. Like, I've listened to him on Rogan and several podcasts. Like, I go into it going, God, weirdo. And then I go, I'll be damn. No, I kind of get it. Yeah, I get it.
Hey, thanks for the call, Vibe.
He's
Appreciate
actually one of those few. Yeah, thank y'all.
Yeah. I'm assuming that was Dexter Fowler. They're doing dexterity. It's cute.
Yes, that's cute.
Okay.
Notice that Dexter did not retire as a Cardinal. He retired as a Cub.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a reason for that.
Got a ring, though, right? When he on the team?
Yeah. Oh, hit a leadoff home run in Game 7.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah. Come on, Dexter, man. Come on. Your boy's favorite team ever. God, I love those guys. Hey, who do we have?
You got Bennett from Oxford.
Hey, Bennett, what's up?
So here's all I got to say to Mr. Vibin. He needs to, like, chill it out with the scared attitude now. Listen, I like the guy. I know the guy. He's all right. But it's total buzzkill, man. Pragmatism may have its place. Stop killing my buzz tonight. That's all I'm saying, man.
What do you think the score is going to be?
I don't give a shit. I'm a college student. I'm just going to get drunk and have fun anyway.
You know where I come from on this. I mean, they're gonna kick it off, and I know what's going to happen, and I know what it's going to look like when it starts, and from that point forward, we're going to find out. I mean,
it's great analysis. Really,
you
appreciate
can.
that.
I mean, but you can
great.
get it. You can get as positive or as negative as you want to get. At this point, I mean, whatever is to be will be. I mean, we're going to find out. We've talked about this for months.
Is that
now.
Yoda or Shakespeare?
I'm not sure. I'm that guy.
There's stats that I've heard that make me confident, but so it's going to get played. That's how it was for every time I played football.
Yeah.
If you're going to play it, you're never going to figure it out until you play it. You can talk all you want.
Yeah.
But I would like to say thank y'all for the content all this week.
Appreciate it.
It's been pretty good. Listen to pretty much everything because I'm bored most of the time, and I hate like a quarter of my classes. But
what classes are you taking, Ben?
Anyway, so I'm a history major at Ole Miss currently. I'm in the legal studies minor. I'm a pre-law student, so I'm doing a lot of history. I got 2 upper-level histories this semester. I got some freshman-level courses that for some reason didn't get knocked off when I transferred over from community college, and I got on that one. I got bio, which I really hate bio because they make me do math. I'm a history major. So
What history classes are you taking?
I'm currently doing one on the Cold War from a global perspective and one on the Protestant Reformation. For 2 I really like because it's what I kind of got there for.
Yeah, the Cold War would be interesting.
English lit class. Oh, yeah, we spent like the first 3 weeks of it doing some role play game where we had to like be a part of some conference, which I thought was fun because I got to yell at people, and I really wanted to do that a little bit.
Yeah, Cold War was fascinating.
It was very fascinating. We haven't really gotten too far into it. We've been doing that, but we were like going over like the presets of the Cold War, like how the world was after the end of World War II, what each superpower wanted at the end of it. It was one of my favorite pieces of history overall, so I'm pretty excited about that. But overall, food's a whole lot better at Ole Miss than the Northwest Fat Yellow Bushes Center, which had like a couple vending machines. Maybe that's it.
You mentioned having the conference or the class where you actually do that. One of the classes I remember the most from college was a political theory class, and we partnered with another school. It was a school out west. I don't remember which one it was. So obviously we were probably more conservative and they were more liberal. And you got a district, like a House of Representatives district for the country that you were in charge of. and you had to work with the other side, like Congress, and write bills and pass them for things inside. And it was harder to think because you're dealing with, hey, no, we don't really agree with that, and how you do appropriations and the whole deal. And I mean, it's been 20 years almost, and I still remember it. So yeah, sometimes
I'll just say
you get a lot out of that.
My professor picked the exact right girl to be Joseph Stalin. She pulled it off. Like she'd look at you 1 minute, and it would just be like, "Holy shit, she pulls it so well." And for some reason, they picked the one guy who couldn't hear to be Franklin Roosevelt, because I guess he had to have like a little bit of something off with.
Oh God!
And I went talking to him about naval history, so he made me the admiral and the chief military advisor to the United States. So I had a whole lot of shit on my plate.
All right, Bennett. Thanks for the call. Good luck with the class.
He had a reason. Yeah, no problem. Y'all have a good one. I'm
All
sorry
right,
I
appreciate
went on
it.
and on there.
Snoop says he took history with the Beatles for a semester.
Oh. I took a 1960s history class that was amazing.
Really?
It was excellent. Yeah.
Like legitimately, not a joke.
No, it was legitimate. The as thorough a study of the Vietnam War as
Oh, really?
It was fantastic. Yeah. Like the race to the moon and Kennedy and all that stuff. Hey, who do we have? Hey, you're on.
Hey, so I disagree with y'all's assessment on the Alabama game. I think Ole Miss wins. But if we do not, my understanding is Lane Kiffin as a head coach will become 8-24 against top 25 ranked teams. I'd like to hear y'all's take on that. I'll hang up and just listen. Thank you.
I don't know his numbers. I know they're not great. I'm on record. I've said this. I think if they win, it's a huge win, and if they lose, it's a huge loss. I'm not changing that.
8-24 is worse than I would have thought. He's at FAU for a while, so you play. I mean,
yeah.
Had SC on probation.
He won, and then they got on probation, and the probation was much worse than they advertised that it would be. And at Ole Miss,
it's been interesting.
Here's the thing. If they lose to...
Last year was bad at the end.
I mean, here's the thing. If they lose to Alabama, and then next Saturday lose to LSU, you have to start having a conversation about, well, what's the biggest win they've had? What is their signature win? You and I talked about this earlier in the week. It's A&M in 21. Because last year, the two big wins were Troy and Kentucky. Is it?
A&M and Tennessee the year before.
Yeah. And that wasn't a great Tennessee team. And
I told you Tulane was the first road-ranked win.
And it wasn't a great A&M team. And I'll throw 20 out because it's the COVID year and whatever. But the biggest win in 20 was against an Indiana team that was playing without Michael Penix in a bowl game. If they don't win one of these next two games, it's a legitimate conversation. Whether people want it to be legitimate or not, it becomes a talking point.
Yeah, ranked wins at Ole Miss. Indiana was number 11, but Penix didn't play. God, Indiana at number 11 at one point.
Yeah.
COVID year. 21 ranked games. Arkansas actually was number 13 when Ole Miss beat them 52-51.
Okay.
A&M was 11 when they beat A&M in 21.
All right.
That's all the ranked. They lost to Auburn that year, lost to Baylor that year, and lost to Alabama that year, all ranked.
Okay.
And then last year,
Troy was not ranked.
Their win was over number 7 Kentucky.
Yeah.
Alabama was ranked.
I mean, you could argue that his biggest win was Kentucky at home last year. That was not a good team. They're okay. They're fine. It's a big game Saturday. There's no point running from it. There's no reason to run from it. It's a huge game. And Lane's made it a big game. Castle's crumbling and all that stuff. He's made it a big game. There was no humble humility on Monday. He thinks he's going to win. That's the only conclusion I can reach. Either that or he's an idiot. And I don't think he's an idiot. So he thinks they're going to win. Because if you don't think you're going to win, you don't poke the bear.
Like Deion.
Deion this week, right? Hey, is this personal? No, it's not personal. Well, what he said was a lot worse than what he said. I don't know. Yeah, but that wasn't personal at all. So you watch the film of Oregon and you think you're about to get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
Well, it's just not personal.
Yeah, Colorado State, we went, whatever. Sure, great.
So you think you're going to kick Colorado State's ass. This is personal.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. That's fine. But Lane, nobody made Lane get up on Monday morning and go Castle's crumbling. Nobody made Lane on Sunday go, hey, I need somebody to ask this question about Kevin Steele and Travaris Robinson. And if you think that was an organic question, I just disagree. I can't.
No, I think he's admitted it was. I think Ben admitted it was planted.
Okay. So you planted a question and then you did the tweet. Okay. That's dropping the gauntlet. That's I'm better. We're going to win the game. Here you go. And if they do on Saturday, I will sit here on Saturday night and go, what a win. What a huge win for him, for the program, for everybody.
And now you got a bigger game on Saturday.
And it's massive. Yeah. But if you lose, it's like, what was that all about? And there's no way around it, in my opinion.
Yeah, you took the middle out.
I think you eliminated the middle. You just took a big old X-Acto knife and just
10 and 1.
It's what it is. It's a 1 or a 10. And if you lose, the pressure on you to beat LSU next week is off the charts. Because if you lose to LSU next week, it's like, okay, well, you wake up the next day and it's like, all right, well, what do you have left? You got to play Arkansas, which conceivably is going to lose to LSU Saturday, and then maybe probably lose to Texas A&M a week later. So you're going to play an Arkansas team coming off 3 straight losses. So if you beat them, big damn whoop, right?
Bye week Auburn.
But if you don't beat them, holy shit, it's a disaster. And if you do beat them, it's like, oh, whatever. We're not going to Atlanta. Not winning a championship. You came here saying you're going to win championships. It's a big game. It's a big game. It's a really, really big game. Period.
He's good against the Pirates.
He needs to be. Look, he won Game 7 of the NLCS. He's my guy.
We can't talk crap about Kyle
Don't mess
Hendricks.
with Kyle Hendricks, okay? Nope. He's your Marquise Grissom.
Yeah.
You know?
Gotcha. Marquise Grissom.
I mean, that's my guy right there. Game 6, 2016 NLCS. He beat Clayton Kershaw.
Good enough.
I mean, what else you got to do?
Saw a stat yesterday that Barry Bonds, if every one of his home runs in his career were outs, didn't count at all, they were all outs. He had the bat, got out. He would still have a higher on base percentage than David Ortiz for his career.
Oh, wow.
If every home run was an out.
That's incredible.
Yeah. It would drop his OBP to like 384. Ortiz was like 380.
Bonds is the one that not being in the Hall of Fame is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So Snoop says, so basically next week is bigger regardless. I mean, kind of.
In a way, yeah.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, LSU at home on your racket, but it's
in different ways. Like if you beat Alabama and then lose to LSU, you can at least
still fine.
You're still fine. You tip your hat. You go beat Arkansas. You're 5-1 at the turn.
You go, hey, let's go run this thing and hope for the best.
And hope somebody beats LSU.
Yeah.
or 2 teams beat LSU.
Yeah, or you get in with 1 loss. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Because you got to beat Georgia in that stance.
But look, if you lose to Alabama, the LSU game becomes this. I mean, I don't know.
Well, you're trying to fight your way back in it.
Yeah, and it just becomes big, right? I mean, it begs the question: why did you say so much?
Mm-hmm.
Chauncey says, Neal, what's your journalistic thoughts on the Portnoy Washington Post stuff? I haven't finished the entire Portnoy video. I started it today because that was the first I'd heard of it, believe it or not. The Washington Post it has gone from being a newspaper of record in our country to a left-wing propaganda outlet. The email that they sent out that he read was an unprofessional email. They're calling him misogynistic, essentially laying the groundwork for threatening sponsors of his pizza festival. I haven't finished it enough to go all the way in on what Portnoy did or didn't do, so I've got to finish it before I can comment on that. But I lost respect for the Washington Post a long time ago. The truth is, not to get political here, but the Washington Post, the New York Times, all those papers, when they did the Russian disinformation thing and ignored the laptop and all of that stuff in 2020, just completely ignored it. They surrendered any shred of objectivity. And I don't know about Portnoy. I don't know the guy. I like him from what I know of him. Is he a misogynist or not? I can't say that. He did a whole lot for small business. Like $50 million for small business. He's done the pizza thing has probably turned so many pizzerias into like money.
Very profitable businesses.
I mean, I just think the guy deserves a little more benefit of the doubt than they're giving him. Hey, who do we have?
Hey, it's Steve in Greenville.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, I was just going to get y'all's thoughts on the that thing that Pac-12 or Pac-2 proposed about what do you call it? Doing it like they do over in England.
Oh, the
relegation.
Relegation, yeah.
Yeah, did you see this? Where they?
I saw it, but I haven't had a chance to read the story.
Basically, the Pac-12 people that are left are basically saying, "Yeah, that sounds great because it's their only avenue into anything." But admitting that in 4 or 5 years it's not possible. People are just too tied up in rights deals and everything to even try to get there.
Well, the other thing with the whole relegation thing is that over there you have the Champions League and you've got the Europa League and you've got more options where you can make that work. I don't know that you really have that in the States. I don't know that
it has to be a very flexible scheduling situation.
Yeah. Because those teams still play in the English Premier League, and then they play in it is a completely separate league. I've finally begun to understand it after years of being confused by it. My son has explained it to me, so I get it, but I don't really think you can make that work in college football.
Okay, just thought I'd ask.
Appreciate the call. Thanks. You about ready to shut it down for your voice's sake? Sure. I think you probably should. You're fighting a valiant fight, but you're losing. All right, there's a lot of content up at MPW Digital at Rebel Grove. We've got the Butcher versus the Dance Instructor presented by LB's Meat Market. That's up. Listen, do us a favor. People ask this all the time. I'll be honest. Hey, what can I do to support? Even if you don't want to watch that, just pull it up.
Hit the
play button. Hit the like button. It's nice. It's a cute little show. Greg was at Keeneland. You get to see the horse track. He and Caroline have fun. They're both wonderful people. I'm jealous. I mean, I'm not jealous. I'm biased, I should say. They're great. Please watch Pete's video. It's fantastic. Pete's Pigskin Preview.
And you get so much more out of the video than the audio.
Yeah, it's presented by Riverland Roofing. You should watch it. Pete puts a lot of work into that. each and every week. He really breaks down what Ole Miss is going up against in Jalen Milroe. That's there. You've got this show, and then here in about 21 minutes, an extra edition of the Oxford Exxon podcast. Ryan Brown of The Next Round joins. Tony Tsoukalis of Bama Illustrated, part of the Rivals Network. He joins. Corey Reamer, the former Alabama linebacker, now part of the Crimson Tide Sports Network, joins as well. It's about an hour and 25 minutes or so. It's just Ole Miss Alabama talk, nothing else. So if you are geeked up about that game and you want to get some opinions,
it's a good travel show.
It's a really good travel show. I'll have it up in podcast form tonight. So if you're driving to Tuscaloosa, that'll be there for you as well. And then this show will be available in podcast form at some point tomorrow as well. So again, our thanks to the people at Comer Heating and Air, Southern Heating and Southern Air Conditioning and Heating, Comer, Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, 662-801-1777. Southern in Hernando, Memphis, that area, 662-429-4429. Get in touch with them. And as always, we appreciate being sponsored and presented by the Oxford Exxon and also by Twisted Tea. So we'll be back on Saturday. We'll have a post-game show pretty much immediately after the conclusion of Ole Miss at Alabama, no matter how it goes. And, thanks to everybody in the stream. Thanks to everybody for calling. For Chase, I'm Neal. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you Saturday night. Take care.